What up, everyone? Franchise here, the 202, and this is our channel, Kickstart.
Kickstart Entertainment. I'm Karma.
And our topic today is about bullying. We're going to share a couple of stories, and I want ladies to go first.
Alright, so the deal is we're gonna share our stories about being bullied and see if anybody out there can relate. Okay, so when I was in high school, I was figuring out, well, I've always known who I was. A big part of me, I'm all about fans and everything, and I like to be truthful with people. So I'm going to go ahead and get this out there. I am a lesbian. Well, in high school, let's just say I had my first girlfriend. Well, it wasn't high school, it was middle school. I got my first girlfriend, and it went around the whole school. Well, let's just say I went to school one day, and I had lesbian written all over my locker. Like, all over the inside of my locker. And, I'm not gonna lie, it upset me to the point where I walked into my Spanish class, and I pretty much yelled, like, asking everybody who did this. I even walked out of the classroom and slammed the door. But what hurt me the most was not the fact that lesbian was written all over my locker, it was the fact that I had to clean it off. Like, I seriously had to grab some sort of spray that they had given me, because it was written on my locker in permanent marker. So I had to grab the spray or whatever, spray my locker, take a sponge, and just sit there and try to get it all out, and it wasn't budging. Not only that, people, I would pass people, they would call me a dyke, all that good stuff, tell me that, I've always been told I was going to hell, stuff like that. But bullying is never fun. No matter what type of no matter what the story is, it's never a good thing. Like, people don't realize how much of an effect that bullying has. The second part to that is, I guess, I'm assuming the same girls that wrote this on my locker were probably the same girls that did this to me. I was sitting in class one day, and everybody knows, well, you guys are just now starting to get to know me, but I'm not a typical girly girl. I don't like wearing, makeup, none of that. But these girls in my class had asked me, can we put makeup on you? So I was like, sure, not thinking they were going to be mean, nothing like that. So I said, sure. And they put makeup on me, but they purposely made me look like a clown so I would get laughed at. My teacher at the time had ended up looking at me saying, you need to go wipe that off because they purposely just made you look bad to get laughed at. So I'm assuming that maybe whoever did that, those girls that did that to me, is probably the same ones that wrote it on my locker. To this day, I don't know. But now that I'm older, I'm 27 years old now, and now that I'm older, I'm going to sit here and I would just like to look at you guys and say, you didn't break me. I'm still here. I'm still proud of who I am, and I'm proud to be a lesbian to this day. So, if anything, you helped me grow as a human, or as a person, so I thank you for that, but that's all I gotta say about that. That's some of my stories, but I've been bullied a lot, and like I said, it's never easy. But just know you're not alone, and I'm pretty sure John can relate to it too.
Right. Now, with me, for people who knows me, I do have a disability. Now, starting in the first grade, that's when I started getting bullied, being picked on and whatnot, and after grade school, that's when it started building up in anger. And with that being said, the bullying never stopped. So no matter if I told the teachers or my parents, it never really did anything, because the more I told, the more it made myself look like a snitch, pretty much until middle school and high school. And when I was in elementary school, I remember we was on the playground, and we were playing dodgeball or tag, one or the other. And we were all lining up, and the teachers were talking to each other. And when the guy had pushed me, and I fell into all the rocks of rubble, they said that the kid was playing. But I knew on purposely that he pushed me into these rocks that make myself, maybe hit my chest on the rocks and rubble. So, I still get bullied to this day, but I pretty much I embrace the stuff that's going on now. I'm a grown man, so pretty much I learned to ignore. I learned to not to beat myself up a lot because due to the fact of my disability, because, I used to think when I was a teenager, why is this stuff happening to me? I used to question all this stuff because I was different than others. So all the people that's bullying me now, bullying me back then, they're the ones not doing nothing. And here I am being successful. And my teacher told me that, the people that's bullying you now is the ones that's not going to pretty much succeed. That's what she said. If that makes sense. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So she said the more that they bully you, it's the more that they feel bad about themselves, because I was always the one early for class. I was always the one doing my homework, kind of. And I was always the one that volunteered to do stuff. I wasn't a teacher's pet, but I was always the person who did stuff to make sure my grades were good enough for me to pass. Then when I moved to Pennsylvania, that's when things hit the fan as well, because it turned to racism, then it turned to a lot of other things. That's all I have to say.
I would also just like to say that I can relate to a lot of people. A lot of people tend to cut themselves because of bullying, and I'm not gonna lie, and I'm not trying to give my bullies or bulliers or whatever you would call them, I'm not trying to give them the satisfaction, but back then, being as young as I was, I did let it get to my heart, and I did turn to cutting myself because it was the only way to express myself. And to be completely frank, it was the only way that it's the only thing that made me still feel alive, because once you're bullied that bad to an extent, you show that you're okay on the outside, but I know how it feels on the inside to feel like I'm not okay. Like I don't want to be here anymore. But I just want to say, cutting isn't the way to handle things, because now I have all these scars on me that remind me of my past struggles, And don't get me wrong, I'm thankful for my scars because it shows how far I've come. And I'm one of the lucky ones that can still say I'm here to even look at my scars. A lot of people aren't that lucky. A lot of people end up taking their lives due to bullying. And all I gotta say is people need to realize one thing. Sometimes people say bullies, have a rough life of their own, so they're just taking it out on other people to make themselves feel better. But I want everybody to hear this. No matter how hard your life is, someone out there has it worse than you. And I can promise you that. We have kids being diagnosed with cancer. They have it a lot worse than us. And I'm not trying to judge anybody's struggles, but what I'm saying is, if you yourself are having a hard life, why turn on someone else and make their life just as hard as yours? Because whether you realize it or not, your words mean a lot. Words can hurt. They don't physically leave marks on you, no. But some words can stick with somebody for the rest of their life. And some people, from being bullied so bad, some people have to go through therapy. Some people grow up and have anxiety issues. I'm one of them. I have really bad anxiety. Girls or men, they develop self-esteem issues because of it. It's just not fair. That's why I always abide by this saying that I've been told since we were in school, which is treat others as you would want to be treated. It seems like nobody even listens to that anymore. You know? If you treat someone bad, and if they don't act back on it towards you, like if they don't start doing, being mean back, that's not that person showing that they're weak. That's that person saying, you know what, I'm not going to stoop to your level.
And that's one thing I had problems with growing up.
Right.
I always was the person to fight back.
And some people, some can't defend themselves. And then we have others that see the bullying happen, but they're too afraid to say anything. One change can make a difference. One voice can make a difference. If you see someone being bullied, you shouldn't just sit there and let it continue to happen. You don't have to confront the bully. Do something about it. Go, start hanging out with the kid, being there for them, having their back. Or, I know people will call you a snitch or whatever in high school, but the best thing to do is go to your principal about it. Say, look, I see these kids bullying so-and-so, and I thought I should speak up. Because speaking up can save someone's life. Because like I said, a lot of people that are being bullied today are ending up killing themselves. They end up turning to suicide because they feel like it's the only escape.
Nowadays, this is what I believe as well. I feel like you do tell the principal, it's not what you may have seen happen inside the school, but it might happen in the streets.
It could.
So it's like, you can't, like, the principal can't do anything because it's not on school grounds. The cops can't really do anything because they got to be there to witness the situation. So what is it to do? But you can't you can't let a whole bunch of people beat you up.
I agree. You just made a really good point. Even if you do tell the principal, it could still happen outside of school because cyberbullying is a thing. It can happen online. So I say this to anybody who's ever bullied somebody. You have to ask yourself at the end of the day, why did you do it? Was it worth it? Why pick on someone else? And this is why I say that. Just because we all have our differences doesn't give me, you, or anybody else the right to look at somebody else and judge them because they're different. We are all different. And I say this. I've always made a good point by this saying, if we were all the exact same, how boring would the life we live be?
Right.
If we all liked the same things, if we all dressed the same way, if we all did the exact same thing and acted the exact same way, how boring would life really be?
It would be a prison.
Yeah. People need to start realizing okay, hold on. I'm trying to say something here and I'm getting too far ahead of myself. The differences in our life is what makes life so beautiful. I grew up in a home where my mom always told me, and my parents, period, both of them always told me, never judge somebody unless you want to be judged in return. They always told me, it doesn't matter about someone's skin color, someone's religion, someone's sexual preference. It does not matter. What matters is how they treat you at the end of the day. If they are a good person, you should treat them like you would want to be treated. And I've lived my life by that saying. If someone is good to me, I am going to be good in return. However, even when someone's negative towards me, I don't feed back with negativity. I block it out and I move on.
That's something I should learn on because with me, a good example, for people out there who watch the Discovery Channel or who, if you see a tiger and you keep picking with the tiger and you keep poking him, eventually he's gonna bite you.
Right.
So what I think with me, was somebody be negative to me, eventually that's when I'm gonna snap, because sometimes I don't know when to walk away or whenever to keep my mouth closed in situations. And you know, one thing my mom did tell me, you only throw yourself as far as you can handle.
Right.
And me being as old as I am, I should be able to ignore certain things. But you know, she said the more people get under your skin, the more power they got. The more power they got to control you. And I just believe that if you can ignore people, or matter of fact, my teacher said, you know, disagree with them, and eventually they never had nothing to say back to you. Just like with Eminem and 8 Mile, but he went against Clarence, he used his own fuel against him, and Clarence had nothing to say during that rap battle. So there you go.
Right. And the main thing is, if you are a kid out there who's being bullied, the main thing is, I know it's hard. Trust me, we both know it is hard to deal with. But you've got to stay strong. Because there are still, even though you're getting bullied, you got family, you got friends that truly love you. And suicide is never the answer. Hurting yourself in any shape, way, or form is never the answer. If you get suicidal, turn to somebody who you know you can count on for anything. Talk to them, you know? And I'm going to go out on a limb here. If you're watching this right now at this exact moment, and you are a child or anybody, an adult, child, whichever, and you are having bad thoughts, reach out to me, because I can talk to you. I know what it's like. I've been there myself plenty of times, and I overcame it. And the biggest thing that I can stress is you're not alone. So if you need someone to talk to, you can message us on this YouTube channel.
We're always available.
Right.
I guess that's it. So you can give us more topics in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up. Everybody like, comment, and subscribe. And y'all have a good day. Good night, good morning.
Good night, good morning, good day, whichever it is. And like Franchise just said, any topics you guys want to hear us talk about and give our opinions on, I don't mind what it is. We don't mind what it is. Type it in the comments below and let us know. And once again, if anybody wants to talk at all, just reach out to us. We'll be more than happy to talk. Until next time, we are out.
Deuces.